Hi everybody, welcome to Photo Tips Tuesday. I'm Christina Stuart with Christina Stuart Photography. I'm so glad you're here. I'm back from my cruise. Last week I was photographing the Business Acceleration Summit at sea. We were on a 7-day cruise for a 3-day conference. That's pretty awesome. So today I'm going to talk about light and how it impacts your subject matter. When you bring photography down to its very, very basic format, a picture is light, and that's it. The way that our camera interprets that light is what creates the different effects of our image. That's why we get a silhouette, that's how we get rim light, that's how we get all different underexposed or overexposed or properly exposed photos. So we're going to do a little bit of a demonstration here today. This week the assignment for my student is to, and I'm actually going to challenge you guys to do the same thing and post it below. You can do this assignment 2 different ways. A really easy, fun way to see how light impacts your subject and how different angles of light impact your subject is to do this. 2 different ways you can do this assignment. One is to photograph your subject matter. I'm going to have this little teapot here. From having one light source, we've got this lamp here, one light source, and you photograph the tea kettle from 3 different angles. Same light source, same time of day, 3 different angles. The other way you can do this is set up something outside, like a garden gnome or a vase or plant, something in one spot in your yard, hopefully a pretty openly exposed part of your yard, so you're going to be getting a lot of sunlight a lot of different times of the day, and leave it there. And I want you to photograph that item 3 different times of day from the same angle, okay? So you're going to put it there, you're going to photograph it from the spot A at 9 o'clock in the morning, for example, again from the same spot A at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, same spot A, you're going to come out again at 6 o'clock or whatever times you choose and photograph that same item at those 3 different times of day. This way you can get a little bit more control and you don't have to spend quite as much time on it. Is you set up your item, you set up a light, and then you're going to photograph that item from 3 different angles, which we're going to show right here. The way that light impacts your subject is really cool. You can get all kinds of different types of pictures just by changing your angle, right? Changing your perspective. That's really important in photography. I want you to always be looking around. Have a little bit of ADD when you're shooting. Look behind you, look in front of you, look above, look below, crouch down, step up on something, just to see how things look from a different perspective. And that can really, really change your image. There was one situation, I was in Costa Rica for an international photojournalism class that I was taking, and there was this really cool, huge tree branch that had been weathered and worn by the ocean, and there was debris and just like a tent city behind it, and it was really not very pretty. And we kept walking by this huge branch, and I thought, man, that's just a really cool, there's a picture there, there's a picture there. And one of the times I walked by, there was a gentleman sitting in the curve of the branch. And so in order not to disrupt his view, I walked behind him. There was the picture. The whole beautiful Costa Rican beach, him sitting in I'm a photojournalist, so I want people in my pictures. Him sitting in this cool tree, and the branch was like 15 feet long, and it was curved, and it was like a bench made out of a tree branch and driftwood. And so I crouched down really low, got on the sand, got all dirty, my mom would be so proud, and shot this really cool picture of this guy sitting on the beach. I'll post it on my Instagram page, so check later, just so you can see. So changing your perspective, changing your angles, you'll see light differently. You'll see how light impacts your subject differently. And once you start to see the light, and I kind of joke with my students to go see the lights, right? Once you see the light, you're never going to be able to unsee it. You're going to start seeing it everywhere. And you can really improve your pictures dramatically by paying attention to the light. Now, one quick thing is if you're shooting outside, the best time of day to get the best light is within 2 hours of the sun rising and within 2 hours of it setting. Here in Florida, we get really hot, high sun pretty fast. So that 2 hours in the morning here is really more like an hour before it starts to get too bright that it just kind of, you're so within an hour or so of the sun rising and then 2 hours of it setting is going to give you some really, really what's called that golden hour, the sweet light, golden light, longer shadows, less harsh effect on your subjects. So that's a quick tip for shooting outdoors. Now I'm just going to show you what I've set up here is I've got my lamp set up and you can see, you know, it's pointed right at my little teapot. And you can see the shadow falling over here. The shadows are going to give you, and the highlights on your subject are going to give you a really good clue as to where the light source is coming from. So even if you couldn't see this lamp in my shot, you'd be able to tell where the light source is because the shadow, I'll go backwards here, is falling behind it. So you'll be able to tell, and it's brighter on this side of the teapot. So I'm going to be a little bit awkward and take this down and just show you how differently it looks from different sides and perspectives. Okay, so bear with me while I get a little shaky. All right, so looking from, this is straight on, okay? My light source is over on this side, right? See the shadow over here, our highlights on this side. Now, if we looked at it, this is from underneath the light source, right? We got, top of it is pretty hot. Can't really see much shadow except underneath it. Completely different look. Now let's move around to behind it. Hi. Now you can see the light sources in front of the teapot. And we've got some highlight, really nice highlight here and on the top of it. And then this all falls down into shadow, but completely different. If I pull back even further, you can see we get a really cool shadow here. So let's go from this side. All right, this is another side view. I've got some lights behind me too, so you guys can see me. So the light source now is over here. So you can see it on my face too, that we're getting pretty, side light is almost directly shadow and light. You can see this hot spot right here. That gives you another clue as to your light source. So if you see, I'm gonna come back up here. If you see a picture in a magazine or on somebody's website that you really like and you want to try and emulate it, which is something that I really encourage you guys to do, encourage my students to do too, it's really a fun way to kind of diagnose the picture and see where is the light source coming from, where are the highlights, where are the shadows, where are the catch lights in the eyes. Those are going to give you the shape of your light source and where it's coming from, either straight in front of, from the side. And those are some clues as to how to kind of diagnose a picture, how a photographer may have done or set up a picture, if you like a studio type shot, or where the sun is coming from, and just really start to make a study of light. And that's really going to improve your images. If you have any questions, I know this was a little intense one. If you have any questions, write them down here. You can also direct message me. I'm happy to answer any questions for you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. This is Christina Stuart with Christina Stuart Photography. Now go see the lights. Have a great week.